This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 10/16/20, show number 139. Well, finally, options expiration is going to be over.
Yeah, it's my favorite day of the week when the options X is finally ended, because you get a lot of the institutional game playing that goes on. And it still goes on today as well, so just be aware of it. But next week we'll get back to normal trading. Today you have very, very light volume. We have, it looks like right now you have the Dow up about 211 points. So that's a pretty good day overall. It was a little bit higher earlier. The Russell 2000 holding up pretty well, up about 0.3%. The Nasdaq is the laggard again, just a little bit over 0.1%. So again, we're starting to see the Nasdaq show a little bit of weakness here, but it is up the most this year, so that's understandable. If we see money rotate out of tech into other areas, that's very, very good going forward. And today, you got a little bit of money going into the financials, or at least a few of them. We are still seeing weakness in the energy space. So energy just really cannot get any real traction going. So I would avoid that area at all costs at this point in time. But that's pretty much it for now, what's going on out here.
All right. And kind of down day for precious metals, huh?
Yeah, precious metals are a little bit on the weaker side at the moment. You have gold down on the futures, down about $5. So that's a decline of around 0.3%. We're not going to, I don't think we can make too much out of that. And then when you look at silver is actually positive on the futures by 12 cents, and that's a gain of about 0.5%. So it's not a total, it's just a lot of backing and filling. And that's kind of what, we've been talking about every day on this program.
All right. So what do you think we're seeing in terms of the election here in the market?
Well, I like what we're seeing. I think the action here is pretty encouraging. We had a Monday sell-off this week, which is an options X week. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. But we had a pretty good 3-day pullback. Yesterday, the markets were down big at the open. They recovered quite a bit into the close. In fact, the Russell 2000, in full disclosure, I do own the Russell 2000 now, showed great leadership, finishing up over 1% yesterday. And when the small caps lead, I'm always paying attention. And I think that's a good sign for the markets in the short run, probably going into the elections and even a little bit after the elections. They could have a pretty good run here.
All right, on the day. And so precious metals still showing real strength, though. It's kind of hovering right around that level that we've been watching for the past 2 months now.
Yeah, I mean, we've really just been in a really tight range. Some days you have these big moves in precious metals and you don't get follow through. And then some days you have big sell-offs and you don't get followed through to the downside. So when you see that just tells me the market is digesting and it's consolidating and it might need to do more of it. Once I see a real setup on the charts, I'll be jumping on board the long side. But for now, I think we're just going sideways, and the longer you consolidate, the bigger the advance is going to be when the move does occur.
All right. So what do you think we're looking forward to next week and up to election? What would you guess is going to happen in terms of volume, in terms of volatility, because we're really in the home stretch now?
Yeah, I think you still got to, be a little bit cautious here because there's still election risk in play. You could see all of the different events that are taking place. News does not get reported. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like this in my lifetime. So I think you still have to understand these markets could still be volatile into the election and even after the election for that matter. So, don't overload yourself here. But if you see a good chart that you like and the chart pattern looks good, I don't have any problem with anybody owning anything at this stage of the game. But you do have, this is a highly contested election, and you have to still be a little bit on guard and respect that the news flow over the next couple of weeks are going to be really, I think, off the charts here. So sit tight and, just prepare that you have to be a little bit on the cautious side.
So you think we'll have a October surprise in the markets?
I think that we've already gotten some October surprises, right? I just don't think it's being reported right now. So at least not by the mainstream media. You're getting a lot of reports, the censoring that's going on in social media, the Biden, Hunter Biden story. I mean, these are explosive stories, but they get no mainstream media reporting. So, you're going to hear more stuff come out. I've already told my membership, just be prepared for probably explosive news, even though it may not come from, the sources that you're normally accustomed to hearing it from.
Hey, and on one site that shall go nameless, we've heard for months, maybe even years, the hunter shall become the hunted. And we always thought that it was like the predatory people were going to become the hunted, but maybe it was Hunter who's become the hunted.
Maybe so. I mean, that is quite something to say it like that. And, we'll see how this all plays out. But this is pretty incredible stuff. And I mean, I don't know if people will wake up to it or really grasp it. But I've never seen anything like this. And again, I think there were two town hall conferences last night, one with President Trump, the other with Vice President Joe Biden. And they, I mean, if you watch these things, they're in complete contrast. I mean, it's just unbelievable what goes on. So I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. But we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, me neither. And just be prepared for the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, right?
That's right. Expect the unexpected, and just follow the charts. I'm telling all my members, right now, hey, this is a time where, we have some positions out there. We're in the money on just about everything. And, we'll let the market tell us what to do, and this is a time where you have to not over leverage yourself, but just watch that chart. That chart will tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah. And like you said, the charts just reflect human behavior. Human behavior never changes. It's always the same. It's just the circumstances that change. But basically, the way people act, it's always the way it is.
That's right. That's right. And again, if you just watch those charts, you look at those patterns, they're going to steer you right most often. And if they fail, hey, that's when you move out of those equities and, you don't participate any longer. But, this is really a time where you have to really read the charts. I can't stress it enough. And again, we'll just let the markets dictate to us what we need to do.
It's hard to believe that in a few short months, we're probably not going to remember most of this, or might remember it, but you won't be paying much attention to it anyway.
Yeah, that could be true, but I have a feeling that this is a year to remember anyway. 2020, we've seen things like we've never seen before. I'm in the business of predicting and forecasting markets. And I have to say that even I didn't see a lot of these things. I knew the volatility would kick in. I knew the markets would sell off, but I never knew the events or the catalysts that would take place. So I think going forward in 2021, we got more of the same, and you're going to have to really be prepared for that as well.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about what's in store for 2021 as the weeks progress. Once we get into December, we'll do a special show just on what you see occurring, what the charts are telling you for 2021 and all your other indicators and all the other things that you use to plot the market's direction. I think that's it for today. Well, go and take a look at inthemoneystocks.com and see Nick's extensive trading record, Twitter feeds, at ITMS, at Nick Santiago 01, at Kerry Lutz. Write us. We'll be handling more of your inquiries next week. That's a promise. Nick, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Thank you, Kerry.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago 01.